Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live session. Today's topic is all about why you are stuck in your life, why you are stuck in your life. I know some of you or many of you may feel stuck in your life, and that's a very, very reasonable thing to feel, especially these days with everything going on around the world and people not being able to afford certain things in life. So this is a really important topic. Hey, Margaret. Hello, B. Curry. Welcome. Welcome to this session about why you are stuck. Hello, Goddess 888. Yes, thank you for asking. I am doing well. I've been traveling quite a bit, but making sure to always get content out there and do these live sessions so that I can serve you, which is part of my soul's journey. Hello, Vivian. So this is a topic again, why you are stuck in your life. And so I think many of us can relate to this. And so I really want to talk about this topic because I think it's going to be important for you to be able to make those shifts so that you can become a more powerful manifester of your life, even during these times when people feel stuck. Okay, so let's clear the energy of the room and then let's get going. Just relax, breathe naturally, and stay present in the now. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, son, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to open the sacred space on the topic of why we're stuck in our lives. Thank you so much for allowing these messages to come forward, to be able to help these beautiful souls and guide them to make those inner shifts so they can be unstuck and manifest their powerful life. Thank you so much for removing any low frequency energies in this room that do not serve the highest and best interest of this sacred space and of the message being delivered to these beautiful souls. Thank you so much for your continued support and allowing this session to go off without a hitch, with flow, ease, peace, and serenity. And so it is. Namaste. Okay, before we get started, everyone, 69 moons, herbs line, based on traditional Chinese medicine formulas, Yu Ping Fang Sun Plus, which helps to support a healthy immunity, Xiaoya Sun Plus to help focus and calm the mind. We added additional herbs to these Chinese medicine formulas for better efficacy, and you could get them at shop.yin-and-yang-living.com. Okay. Hello, Shaneka's Solistic Jewelry Art. Wow, that's beautiful, Shaneka. I love that. You have a very soulful jewelry line. I'm really into prayer beads and I'm into jewelry. Whenever I travel, I always wear this black onyx dragon necklace to protect me from the outer world. And it's a round necklace, and I'm always looking for very meaningful spiritual jewelry that helps to cleanse and protect my energy. Hello, Nardane. Okay, so why are you stuck in your life? One of the things that I think when we feel stuck in our life is that we tend to look outwards. We don't look inwards. We tend to look outwards. We look at outwards of all of the things in our life. We have the lack of money, lack of relations, lack of career, lack of this, lack of that, right? We're looking at our outer world and we're seeing evidence of things that we do not desire, right? The lack of this. Moon, I don't have money. Moon, I don't have a relationships. Moon, I don't have a career. Moon, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Moon, this, so you're always looking outward. And that outward experience, what you call life, is showing you something that you do not desire, and therefore you feel stuck. And this is the biggest hiccup that we make on life, is that as we keep looking at our outer world and what's going on, how much we have in the bank account, the lack of money, the lack of relationships, we keep observing that and we keep making that observation. And then we keep talking about that outer world experience, that I'm poor. I don't have relationships. I don't have a career. But the thing is this, is that all universal forces of energy, the way things shift energetically, and we want to make energetic shifts because everything comes out of energy, right? All I do is talk about energy. I'm obsessed about energy. Traditional Chinese medicine, which is a 5,000-year-old healing system, the principles of Chinese medicine is based on energy, qi, life force energy, yin yang, 5 elements. And so everything that you see in your life is born out of this energetic quantum field of infinite possibilities. And so what it is that we keep observing the outside world, but we're the same person on the inside world. And so we think that if we somehow try to change that outside world by force of manipulation, then our lives are changed. So we look to maybe control other people in the way they behave, or we might look to elections that if we vote this way, and you could vote for whoever you want, that will change our life. To some extent, it will, because policies do make a difference, right? I understand that. But the person who really understands that they are the creator of their life, whether the policies are not in your favor or in favor, which is all external world, the person who truly understands where change begins is going to thrive regardless of what the outer world situation is. Because all things come out of energy. So even though maybe other people are suffering because of policies that do not favor them, you become like an energetic shield if you know how to really understand how change is really made in your life, how shifts are made in your life. And so they're looking, again, what can I do in the outside world? Who can I change? Who could I manipulate? Who can I convince? Who can I, where can I, what outside world can I go to change my outside world, right? That feels kind of logical in some ways. Yeah. If I don't have, if this person is affecting my life, how can I change that person so that that person stops affecting my life in a negative way, right? So that kind of seems logical, right? That you want to change the outside world because your outside world doesn't look good. But that's not really the way the laws of the universe works. The laws of the universe works based on energy. And the energy that you put out is inside out. You're broadcasting energetically inside out. And then based on where you are inside, then the outside becomes a physical manifestation. It's like an evidence of showing where you are in the inside. So your life is like a hologram. It's a matrix, a reflection of your inner world. And so really change is inside out. It's not outside in. It's like saying, if my outer world changes, I have the money, I have the home, I have the relationship, then I'm going to feel better. That's when I will be happy. That's when I will feel joyous. But if you understand the laws of the universe, it doesn't work that way. It works the other way. You have to make the inner change for the outer world to change, because your outer world is really just a matrix. It's a hologram of your inner consciousness. And that consciousness is a frequency that goes out and broadcasts. So anytime you want to make a change, there's a fallacy that you're looking at the outside world, you're examining the outside world, and then you're trying to make changes on the outside world to change your life. And that's the biggest fallacy. So as you keep trying to change this outside world, right? What happens? Nothing really happens in your life. You stay where you are. And as you keep staying where you are in life, you feel stuck, right? So if you've been that way for You're seeing the same thing in your outer world 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Now you feel stuck because you're going through the same thing over and over and over and over again, and nothing seems to change, right? That's when people feel stuck. And feeling stuck is a horrible, it feels like you're not being honored. It feels like you're being put into a little hole. It feels like you're being put into a corner. When you feel stuck, you don't feel like you're growing. You don't feel like you're expanding, right? And that's what your soul ultimately wants, is to grow and expand. That's the bottom line. It wants to grow and expand infinitely. And so the thing is this, is that you can't make it about the outer world changing for your happiness. You've got to switch, and you've got to start to turn it around, turn this premise around, this myth that if I change that, if the outer world changes, then my inner world will change. That's when I will feel expansive. That's when I feel happy. That's when I feel joy. And you've got to, and that's a myth. That's a false premise of the way the universal forces work. It works on based on what energetic blueprint you're putting out there. And then the universe, because it's inclusive, it's fair. My last live session is talk about fair. It now matches where you are. So until you are ready to make those inner shifts and changes, your outer world will never change. And when your outer world never changes, obviously you're going to feel stuck, right? 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. Trust me, I have felt that way in my life because I didn't make the appropriate inner world changes. Now, the fact that you're ahead of the game, because now if you understand this, wow, you are already 50% there. Just by recognizing this and having an awareness of this, you're already 50% there, literally 50% there. You are ahead of the game because most people still think that they have to make outer world change, and making that outer world change takes trying to force and manipulate the outer world takes a tremendous amount of energy, right? Tremendous amount of force. And what often happens is when you make that force, often it just backfires on you. It doesn't even work. It just backfires because that you have no control, really. You have absolutely no control over your outer world. The only thing you really have control is your inner world. And so as you're trying to control and change the outer world, you have to expend so much energy, so much time, so much resources, because it's force energy. It's not flow energy. It's force. And when you get into force energy, that takes a lot of time, energy, and resources that you could have saved. So when we flip the script to say, I have to make a shift on the inner world, then my outer world will change. Now you are using far less time, energy, and resources to see much better results. That's what this is about. So what does it mean to make those inner world changes? Where if you're the same person, thinking the same way, feeling the same things, you're the same person. And so the same results will come out over and over again, right? You can't expect a different result with the same cause and effect. When you have the same cause, you're going to have the same effect. If you're going to put out the same thing over and over again, you're going to see the same results over and over again, right? It's like almost as if you're the same person, thinking the same way, feeling the same way, you're going to just be putting out the same thing, and the universe is just going to show you the same thing, right? And so that sameness, not going anywhere, not leveling up, not growing, expanding, is what's making you feel stuck. Now, if you have any questions while I am doing this, please ask me questions on this topic or other topics. Star Goddess 888, I'm glad you like this topic. It's a very important topic. And so it's almost as if you have to transform yourself to a new person, to a new way, not necessarily a new value system, but a new person in the way you see things, in the way you're giving meaning to situations, in the way you're thinking, in the way you're keeping your heart and mind open, in a way that is a different attitude, in a way that you could see different perspectives. So what it is you have to start to shift the way you think about situations and seeing them as opportunities rather than as failures. And the great Tony Robbins always said, I always quote him on this. He says, it's not the situation that matters. It's what meaning you give to that situation that matters. That's how you start to think differently and have a different attitude. It's not the situation that matters. It's what meaning you give to the situation that matters. And so, for example, I remember he was talking about one of his clients was a gambler and went into complete debt and really just complete debt because of the gambling, right? Couldn't control the gambling. The gambling was like a drug. It was an addiction and really, really put their family in financial peril. And so she felt that she was, really just a person of no worth. She was so low on herself. Like, how could she have done this to her family? Like, she thought she was like the lowest of the low. And she just basically saw herself as not even worthy of anything because she felt that she had really ruined it for her family. And how could she have done that? And it's because, sometimes some soul needs to go through that journey in order to come out of it with such expansion and growth. Sometimes your soul needs to go through the hardest of the hard, the lowest of the low. It's unfortunate, but some souls need that to be able to expand and grow. And so when Tony Robbins was able to show her a different perspective of how she could see the situation differently in a different light, where he showed her what she's really learning, that she's also learning how to be really resilient, how to learn these powerful lessons. He showed her another way of seeing that situation, and it completely changed her life. And she came years later, she says, wow, that was one of the best things that might have happened in my life, because she grew and expanded in ways that were so exponential because of that experience. Because if she had not had that experience, there would be no reason for her to really learn deep lessons for herself. And learning those deep lessons by seeing how these things are teaching her really allowed her to expand and grow. And some years later, she is in a completely different place. So it's not about changing your value system. They say, oh, I have to become a completely different person. It's not necessarily that. You could hold on to your good values of love, compassion. You can hold on to those values. It's about how you start to see things differently. And how can I see it in the perspective of opportunity rather than obstacle, rather than something that is unfair? How can I see this as an opportunity? So it's about thinking differently, opening your heart and mind to see things differently. So also opening your heart and mind to what others are saying that may see things differently. And then you have a litmus test. When somebody says something different, you want to keep your ears open. 2 ears open. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and hear what they have to say. Because might be surprised. They might actually say something that's valuable that before you might have shut down, but now you're listening. But you have to be very, very discerning about what you allow in. Because a lot of things that people say to you will not be relevant to your soul's journey. It might be that they're just trying to control and manipulate you. So this is where you have to be really careful, is you have to open that mind and heart to hear what people have to say, read between the lines, and say, wow, this is a new perspective. And I can apply that in my life because it resonates with me. Then there's other perspectives that people might give you that you have to, again, listen very carefully, mindfully, and read between the lines and say, no, this does not resonate with me. So you have to be open-minded about different perspectives while maintaining a very discerning mind. You have to be very discerning because there's a lot of stuff out there that's not going to be for you. And people are just putting out there to either control or manipulate. So you want to be careful about that. You want to be very discerning. But there are times when I was like, oh my God, I never saw a situation like somebody gave me another perspective. And I was like, wow, I've never looked at it that way. But because I kept my mind and heart open, I said, wow, this perspective resonates with me. This new perspective that I never thought of before really resonates with me. And I'm going to now apply it in my life. And it opened up energetic flows like you have never seen before. Massive energetic flows. It's amazing. Okay. Hi, Nigeria. Hi, Nigeria. Okay, let's see any questions. This came at the right time because we have been experiencing political turmoil in our country. How do we transform our mindset to change and get better results? Yes, the change begins with you. It must begin with you. That's what I really believe. You have to clean your house first before you try to clean out there. That's why the Buddha says, when you change your own mind, you change your world. The Buddha always says, don't worry about changing other people's mind. Change your own mind. Change begins with me. How do you expect to change others if you haven't changed yourself? Right? That's kind of like double standards. If you're trying to espouse whatever the things that you're trying to espouse in life, which is compassion or this and that and that, if you haven't lived it in your life or you're not practicing it, how can you expect other people to practice that, right? So you've got to clean the house first. That's where change begins. Change begins with you, your mind. And then as influence, and as you start to change your world, you start to upgrade. You're leveling up, you're leveling up, you're leveling up. And so then the people around you see you and they said, oh my God, look at Nigeri. Look what she's doing. This is amazing. Look at her career. Look at her relationships. Look at where she's at. And so then people will be inspired by you and then they'll come to you. You'll become a magnet. You want to become a magnet. You want to draw in, not push out. You want to draw in. So as you become this fabulous person, people around you are like, wow, Najera, she's so fabulous. I want to follow her. You see, that's how you start to change the world. Because as a ripple effect, as a domino effect, and then those people level up, the people around you, because you've just now inspired them. What happens? The people around them look at them and say, wow, look what that person is doing. Let me follow that person. Again, ripple effect. So you know how there's a when you drop, there's a drop in the ocean. Does it stay in that one little circle? No, the circle goes like this. It has an effect on all of the ocean. It has a ripple effect. So the most important thing is that you empower yourself. You make those changes. Gandhi always says, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in the world. So write down all of the things that you wish to change in the world. This is a beautiful exercise. Write it down. I want to see this happen in the world. I want to see this. How can I practice that in my own life, locally, my own life? How can I practice that in the inner world? And then my behavior will follow. The way I see things, the way I feel things. How can I see it differently so that make that inner shift and then make the behavioral shifts? And you will see how you start to level up. And as you level up, that's when you can inspire others and make real change. Because when you try to force change, eventually there's a rebellion. Because forcing never, it works maybe in the short term, but it doesn't necessarily work in the long term. So there's rebellions. People start to catch on. And they start to see that they're just being oppressed rather than. So the change comes within. So just be really, really mindful of that. Don't worry about other people right now. Make those changes. And you will see there's a ripple effect of influence. Okay. Nurdane, we add to our identity. Okay. It's not necessarily about adding to your identity. And I think in the energetic sense, there's no real identity for me feels like if I understand what you mean by identity. Identity means, oh, my name is this. I'm the CEO of this company, or I'm the manager of this company, and I do this, and I have 2 kids, and I have 5 kids. That's how I kind of, in sort of the superficial way, that's identity. It's not necessarily adding to that identity. The identity kind of just comes out about. It's about changing the way you think. Seeing situations in a light that creates an opportunity as opposed to failure. So again, let's say you're pursuing a career, right? And you're trying to find a career that really makes you feel evolved, makes you feel like you're contributing, makes you feel like you're honored, right? You're like, Moon, I've had careers in the past and I don't like any of my jobs. I hate it. I hate them because I never feel like I'm growing. My bosses never honor me. I'm just stuck. And now I'm looking for a career and I don't feel very enthusiastic about looking for it. I just feel stuck. I never get the career or the job that I want, right? But okay, so I'm giving you this example. And so what's happening is in order for you to start to connect with the career that you feel inspired by and motivated, and that makes you feel like you're growing and expanding, is that you've got to start to shift the way you saw that. How did I see my career in the past? Yeah, I always saw it as I'm stuck. I hate it. These people, they don't honor me. Job is just a pain in the butt, right? How about if you start to shift? How about if you say, you know what? Those careers that I've had in the past that never served me, that I just felt stuck, they were actually my greatest lessons. And what are those lessons? Those lessons to say, you know what? I know that I could do better. And these jobs are showing me that I could do better. That now I have an opportunity to go deep inside and pull out my creative resources? How can I create a life? How can I create a life or find a career that I truly feel motivated by? What are the absolute creative things that I have inside of me, the resources inside of me that makes me so creative, that makes me so resilient, that makes me so committed to my soul's journey? That's the opportunity that I've been given now to dig deep inside of who I am, that eternal being of infinite possibility. That's really your truth. You are an eternal being of infinite possibilities. This is the time for me to dig deep and bring those resources out. And then you will see, says, wow, so I'm looking at that, whatever has happened with those careers that I did not, that made me feel like I was stuck, is my greatest opportunity. That God is really giving me the greatest opportunity to dig deep and get those resources, internal creative resources, right? Maybe I'm going to start my own business. Maybe I'm going to attend an event that I've never attended before that could inspire me and that could possibly connect me with the people that inspire me, right? You see, it's about that's what we mean by becoming a different person, is by seeing things differently, seeing things from a different angle, different perspective. Not seeing those past as failures, but those past as opportunities to dig into your internal resources. And those are the greatest resources you have. Because as I said before, previously, that all outer world experiences come about inside out. Change is inside out. It's not outside in. Inside out. That's how change happens. So what God is saying is if you can see this as a beautiful opportunity as opposed to failure, opportunity that, wow, I could take control of my own life because I'm going to see things differently. And I'm going to dig deep into my that sacral chakra, my creative resources, and all the beautiful things and gifts that I have been given to me and that are unique to me, right? God has given you very specific, unique gifts that other people may not have, because everybody is oranges and apples. Nobody's better than anybody. It's just oranges and apples. So do an exercise of really understanding, writing down what your talents, gifts, and interests are. And how can you be creative to connect with those energies or those outside resources that will put you on that path, a different path in your life? And every time something doesn't work out, you say, oh, okay, it's okay, because it's a blessing in disguise that the universe is directing me to a different way or telling me to pause on this because it's not working. It's really showing me a better way by having not this work out. And so by seeing things that do not work out in a good light, say, oh, there was a reason why this didn't work out, because there's something better to be worked out, better to be going, better direction, better path. That's why it didn't work out. As opposed to being resentful that it didn't work out, you say, oh, okay, blessing in disguise. Didn't work out for a very, very good reason. Something better is coming. Okay. Hello, Sachi. How are you? So that's what we mean. I hope I answered your question, Ordain. Okay. Hi, Perry. How are you? Niger, you're welcome. What activities can one do to make the transformation? What inner works we should do apart from meditation? Being very aware of your thoughts. When situations arise, right? When something arises, right? And you see something in your life and you're like, I don't like this. You pause, say, let me pause. How can I reframe this? How can I reframe this? Even if it's 2% better or 3% better, doesn't have to be 100% better, because that's like kind of making a quantum leap, right? you want to still believe in what you say to yourself, right? If you have $200 in the bank and all of a sudden you say, pause, stop saying that, and you're saying, now I'm a multimillionaire. I feel like a multimillionaire. That feels fake, right? It feels disingenuous. And you don't really believe it because you want every cell in your body to believe that, the reframing. So how can I reframe this that brings me towards a better, makes me feel better, and makes me see this more of an opportunity? So you might say something like, you know what? It's okay that I have only $200 in the bank, but my future won't be like that. I know I'll have a lot more because I'm resourceful. I'm creative, right? I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but the universe is going to guide me and show me the way with flow. It's okay because that's not going to be my future. It might be for now, but that doesn't matter because the power is in the now. That $200 is just past energy. You could say, you know what? It doesn't matter because I know my future is going to be bright. Or I know that I have the ability to turn that 200 into, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 over a certain course of time. And I'm going to plan in the next 6 months, next year, what I'm going to do to make those changes. You see what I'm saying? So you're not making a quantum leap. You have an awareness of what your thought is. And if your thought is in a place that feels stuck, then you say, pause that thought. And then say, how can I reframe this that I could feel even 2% better? And then as you keep practicing, what you're going to do is you're going to make those inner shifts quicker and quicker, easier and easier. At first, it feels harder because when you haven't practiced something, it feels hard, right? So you just practice being aware of your thoughts. And when you feel that it's not serving you, then you say pause and just reframe it, even if it's 2% better, 3% better, 4% better. And keep doing that, and you will see how you go up that ladder bit by bit. So that's an activity. And spend the time for yourself and with nature. I always say when I spend time with nature, everything calms me down. I feel like I'm connecting to my soul, to the divine, to the universal forces. And when I feel that way, right, feel confident, you feel things are going to be okay. It's not that you have to know exactly what's going to happen right now, what you're going to do, what the future is. I'm not concerned about the future when I'm connected with nature. When I feel connected to the universe, I know somehow the future is going to be okay. I don't know exactly how, but I know. So those are the activities. What activities can help you come home to your soul? Is it being with nature? For some people, it might be skydiving. For some people, it might be taking a hike. For some people, it might be swimming. What makes you feel like you are truly in the power of now, that you feel like I am so optimized for this moment, okay? And those are the things that help you to shift your mind, to see things differently in a different way. Hello, Arpita. Hello, Matthew. Matthew Carrillo, still did I Ching readings. Yes, the reason why I don't do them is because too many people were doing scams on they were pretending to be me. They were going out to my viewers, pretending to be me and offering them readings for money. So it was a money scam. And it kept happening over and over again. And even when I stopped, after I stopped, it was still happening. That people were still creating new accounts pretending to be me. And so I said, you know what, there's a very low frequency energy there. So I said, okay, let me stop this because this energy is not good. And it's not good for me. It's not good for you either because they're approaching you for money as a scam. And I didn't want that to happen to you. I really wanted to prevent that. Okay. Perry, hi, Perry. Thanks for sharing your time and your wisdom and clarity for heartfelt energies and love and care for all people equally, respect and compassion. Thank you, Perry. Perry has some of the most beautiful messages. Hello for healing sakes. I like that. Thank you for this message. I'm literally packing my entire home because me and my fiance were supposed to be moving out of state together today. He broke up with me yesterday and I did not know where my son and I are going. Wow. Okay. First of all, let's all do a little prayer and send healings and send um energies to healing state, dear divine creator. We ask you to please send beautiful healings for healing sakes for her and her child as they're moving. They are going into the unknown, but we know that you're there to support them, protect them, and guide them each way. That this is the greatest opportunity for her and her to really expand and grow and trust in the process and have faith in the process that you will be guiding her and that she will be following that guidance. And that relationship blessing was really a blessing in disguise. So we ask you to continue to guide her, help her, support her, and protect her and her child in this journey moving forward. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so for healing sakes, I want to say to you that your fiance, and this is it really is horrible, right? Like you're going to move out of state like tomorrow, and your fiance broke up with you, right? That's pretty shocking. That's pretty shocking. So you have a right to just pause and acknowledge that shock because it's so shocking, right? Acknowledge that shock and let it run through you because after you've processed that shock, because right now you're trying to process that shock, you process that shock. And maybe it takes a day, 2 days, maybe 5 days, a week. I don't know how long it would take, but allow that time to happen for you to process that shock. And after you've processed the shock, you'll say, yes, thank you. This was a blessing in disguise. This was probably the best thing that happened for me because there's a reason why this happened. And it's a blessing in disguise that I know that when I look back 3 years from now, 2 years from now, even a year from now, that I know that that was the best thing that happened because now I met somebody even more fabulous and my life is even 10 times more fabulous than it would have been with this person in my life, right? So once you process the shock, know that come to a place where you're like, okay, this is a blessing in disguise. And then once you say that, okay, what do I need to do? Where am I being guided? Because you're always being guided. Your internal world, your higher self knows where to go. Yes, go here, go there, do this. Listen to that internal guidance. Don't make any rash decisions because this person broke up with you. Go through that process and say, okay, what do I feel nudged? Which ways do I feel nudged to go? Just pay attention. Pay attention to your internal authorities and see signs of what's being shown to you. And then you will be guided. And then you could say, you know what? I have everything in my power internally to make this shift, to make this change, to do this, to do that. I've never done it before, but I'm going to follow the guidance. It's absolute faith and process. My faith is deepened and I'm going to do this. I haven't done it, but it's okay. And when I do it, I'm going to feel so expansive. I'm going to feel so much growth. Okay. So we send you much blessings for you and your child. Beautiful. I think, and I know that you're going through some shock with that. So I have absolute compassion and love and empathy for you. And you're a strong person. Know that you're strong. This is not going to take you down. This is going to make you stronger and bigger and greater. Okay. Let's see. What other questions do we have? You're welcome, Najira. Oh, I'm glad that Matthew, that you enjoy the praying. Okay, Matthew says, I enjoyed your words on paying attention to your interests, gifts, etc., to find a new career. I just graduated college and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Okay, that's great. First of all, congratulations on finishing college. So that's an accomplishment in and of itself. And really take the time that you need. And maybe you want to do some volunteering. Maybe you want to intern. Like maybe you're like, I'm interested. I remember when one of my sisters, she had two interests. She had the interest of an architecture or interest of being a vet, working with animals. And so she says, you know what? I'm not sure which way to go. So then one summer, she says, I'm going to volunteer at an animal shelter. And she did that. And she still loves animals, but because of that volunteering work that she did, she realized that she wanted to be an architect, and she became an architect. And she's one of the most powerful, amazing, incredible, sustainable architect around the world. I mean, she speaks all over the world. She has an educational program about sustainability. It's incredible. And she's so passionate about it. But so if you have like a couple of interests, then do an internship. It could even be a 6 weeks. It doesn't have to be for a year. Maybe it's 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. Then you'll have a good idea. Okay. But whatever you decide, know that it's part of your journey and that you're not going to make a wrong decision. You're making a decision so that you can discover and grow and expand. So I always say there's never really a bad decision. There's just a decision, and that decision will inform your next decision. Okay. So know that. So even if you say, you know what, I kind of regret, don't ever regret decisions, because that decision was a precursor to getting to where you need to be. Okay. So whatever decisions you make, you made it during the time, the best decision you could make at that time. Right. So be kind to yourself with the decisions that you make. But if you say, okay, this decision, I'm not going to be a vet, I'm going to go into architecture, that's good, because the fact that you worked at a vet gave you a clear understanding that you don't want to be a vet, you want to be an architect. So that's how you could explore things, is kind of say, I'm interested in this. How can I'm going to volunteer, or I'm going to intern and see how much I really like it. So we wish you such best wishes, Matthew, on your journey. You have a full life ahead of you. Okay. And always listen to your heart, listen to your higher self, listen to your inner authorities. Even though your family might have wonderful intentions for you, listen to what they have to say, but make sure that you take what is resonating you, not what is expected of you. Don't do what is expected of you. Do what really resonates with you. Okay. And your inner soul knows what sings, what resonates. Okay. So you're welcome, Matthew. Okay. Arpita says, for now, 25 years old, I live with my parents, and now they're planning to do my marriage. But I realize now that I want to live my life now on my terms. I want to move out, but I don't know how. Okay. So this is where, first of all, you want to set an intention out to the universe. Send that intention. Say, my intention is within 6 months, a year, I'm going to move out. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but that's okay. So put that powerful intention out. Put like a goal, put a date. Now that date could change, maybe 6 months, a year. And then say, universal forces, spirit guides, please, I know that this could be done. I truly believe that this could be done, that I can move out. Show me the cooperative components, guide me. And then pay attention to life. And then write down, what are all the possibilities of how you can move out? What are the ways that you could make your own money so that you can move out? How are you going to direct your life? How can you think things out of the box? Again, that Shakral chakra, that inner resources, the universe is saying, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to figure out how you're going to support yourself to be able to move out and live on your own, right? So this is a great opportunity for you to, and then when you actually do it and go out and you're making it happen, wow, how much growth and expansion are you going to feel because you're doing it? right? When somebody hands you something, when your parents just give you an apartment, give you a car, give you money, is that interesting? No, it's boring, right? You're just like, everything's just given to you. And there's no feeling of growth and expansion, right? But when you go out because your parents are not supporting you and you go out and you make the money and you get your own apartment and you get your own car, how proud do you feel of yourself, right? You feel proud of yourself, like you've accomplished, right? And that feeling of expansion and growth is infinite. And that's what your soul wants to feel. It wants to feel growth, expansion. That's it. That's the bottom line. And that's the reason why this is a wonderful opportunity for you, Arpita, to find a way to go out there and find that job, get that apartment, get your own car on your own. Okay. All right, everyone. So I've got to go because I have a 10 a.m. Conference call and it's already 9:52. And I want to take a 5-minute break to reset my energy. So let's do a closing prayer. Much love and blessings to all of you. Dear God, angel, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to open this sacred space on the topic of why you feel stuck in your life. Thank you so much for all of the beautiful wisdoms and messages that come through for these beautiful souls. I ask you to guide every single one of these souls, beautiful souls, of their inner gifts, their talents, their inner resilience and commitment to their soul's path and journey so that they could come out of their stuck energy pattern and move into a state of expansion and growth. I know that you are watching all of them. You're guiding them. You're providing them wisdoms. You're providing them messages. You're providing them signs so that they can pay attention to those signs and messages and wisdoms so they may make a powerful choice and start to look at things differently, think differently, look at things with new perspective, and really activate and employ their sacral chakra, which is their greatest resource of creativity, to get to from where they are to where they want to be. So thank you so much for your continued support, your continued wisdoms, your continued messages, your continued guidance, and your continued protection, and most importantly, your unconditional love. And so it is. Namaste. So as much love and blessings to all of you.